Hey y'all, I know I caught up with you last video, but I thought it would be cool if I kind of told you where I've been and what I've been up to. Um, Here we go. Let's hope I can remember everything. So the last video I posted here outside of my music video for Perfect, which thank you for supporting, but we're gonna get there, was 2019. It was 2019, I believe. And so much has happened. It's hard to believe. It's been like 5 years. Can you believe 2019 was 5 years ago? 2019 feels more like 2 or 3 years ago, but it's 2024, so it was 5 years ago. I was just telling somebody today that the entire time between 2020 and 2023 is a complete blur. I have no idea what happened. I struggle to keep up with dates, so I literally had to write down what I did. So 2019, around this time, which is March of 2024, so 5 years ago, I got started working with Sunday Service Choir. I was not looking to be a part of a choir, but it kind of came my way, and I knew it was God. I knew it was something I needed to be doing, and I ended up working with them for 3 years, which is really rare in this business unless you are working as a background singer. But even with that, artists change their mind. They don't always want the same thing. So roughly, during the pandemic, of course, things changed. I worked with Sunday Service and with Ye for about 3 years. And he's an incredibly controversial figure, but I can truly say with my whole heart that was a positive experience. And I had the time of my life, and I learned so much about what it is to be in this business, how to market music, what it takes, what it looks like to be on a promo tour, what that entails, and to live it and to experience it was incredibly overwhelming, but such an amazing experience. I wrote it down today, hard to believe, 4 albums with him, which is crazy how quickly we were working on and releasing music. I did Jesus is King in 2019. And for that album, I think we won 1 or 2 Grammys. So that was amazing. Then I did Donda and Donda 2. So we were constantly in some form of either recording or singing or both, like performing live when I say singing. 4 years ago, we were in Paris, which was an amazing experience. I haven't been out of the country as much as I want to be, and going to Paris was always a dream. And to go to Paris being paid to do like what you love was surreal. So we had an opportunity to go to Paris and be a part of the excitement of Paris Fashion Week. And we came home for maybe a week and a half, and then the shutdown happened, and it completely changed the world that we know and everything about it. It scared us. It reminded us of what was most important, because so much of what we knew and were accustomed to was taken away. And it also was an incredibly difficult time for so many of us mentally. And I will be honest here and say my mental health really, really struggled. Like, I struggled for not just 2020, but like truly up until like the top of last year. It was just a struggle, this constant kind of like I was getting better and then I felt like I went right back. Just kind of like this abyss that depression and anxiety can feel like. And that's exactly where I was. And I'm so grateful that even through that, I was still able to make a living, one, be able to take care of myself, but also do amazing things. But I wanted to take a minute and just be honest about that, because if you think you were the only one, child, you were not, okay? It was many of us on the struggle bus right with you. I had an opportunity with that group to do the music for Jingle Jangle, which was an amazing musical by David E. Talbert on Netflix. I had an opportunity to be a part of the Black Adam score, which that came out, I believe, last year. And that was a really cool summer DC movie. Um, what else? I feel like I did so much. I did a couple competition shows. I did The Voice. I believe that was 2019. Then last year I did America's Got Talent and The Masked Singer. I've worked on The Masked Singer a few times. I've been blessed, truly. These past few years have been really hard for artists between the pandemic and the strike we just experienced. A necessary strike, but a challenging strike because there just wasn't as much work going around as normal. And I'm just grateful through it all that I was able to truly survive. Some days, many days, that's exactly what it felt like I was doing, just surviving. I also had an opportunity to, I literally had to write this down. That's a good thing. That's a good problem to have. To be a part of the Renaissance album. I recorded Break My Soul with Queen Bee, and that was such an experience. She is an artist I've worked with a few times, and I've learned so much each time. And just being a part of that anthem, you know, coming out of that dark time I just told you so many of us were in, and then to sing You Won't Break My Soul. You know, just the anthem that became for so many people. And what's really cool, excuse the loud cars outside, I live on a busy street. Being a content creator on a major street is awesome. Um, yeah, when you record something for an artist, and I feel like I'm going to go in deeper detail like with my journey later on here, but you are in the moment. You're focused on executing what that artist or that producer or that songwriter is looking for, and you don't know what's going to happen with it. Of course, with an artist of her caliber, you know it's going to be big and it's going to be major, but you still don't know what will become of it. So to see all of the dances on TikTok and to see her performing it live. I didn't get a chance to go to the tour, but I did go see the film, and watching it and the audience's response. It just warms your heart and it humbles you, because we as artists, you just have to create and you don't know where it's going. And when you're a hired artist, you don't know what that artist is going to do with it or if they're even going to keep your vocals. So I'm just blessed to look back even on these past 5 years and see what I've done. Let's keep going. So after I'd done some Renaissance work, I released a single called Perfect. Let me tell you, if you were around me at that time, I was a nervous wreck. That was the most honest I have ever been in a studio. And I recorded another song that I still have not even gotten the courage to release, but I believe I will. Just writing a song about my self-love journey, and it is a journey. It ebbs and flows, and we go through seasons and times when we're feeling really confident and times when we're not. And there's some struggles I've had my entire life with imposter syndrome and just not feeling good enough, not feeling like I was pretty enough or perfect enough in whatever way that applied. So to sing about it and to have so many people respond back to me from around the world saying that they understood how I felt and they empathized and they connected, it meant more than I will ever be able to express with words. At that time, I needed something to remind me of why I was doing what I was doing. Because even with all these accomplishments, it's easy for this just to be a job or for you to just put your head down and try to survive, because this is a tough business I'm in. It's competitive, it's political, people are greedy, people aren't always honest. People you care for will take advantage of you. It's just hard. And I just was starting to get a bit jaded, if I can be honest, and just tired of the BS. And I needed a reminder. I needed a moment to shake me and wake me up and remind me why I was doing what I was doing. And Perfect was that. And for all of you who shared it, liked it, streamed it, bought it, DM'd me and told me how it impacted you and brought you to tears, and listened to it with your daughters. My niece, my 17-year-old niece, listens to it with her friends, and it means the entire world to me. And I could say thank you a million times and it wouldn't be enough, but I'm still humbled. And I still feel like I didn't give that song all that it deserved. I didn't really know what to do at the time. And I was also limited because a lot of venues were still closed when I released that single. But just putting it out, the bravery and the courage it took to put it out, I'm proud of me. And I'm grateful for all of you who have engaged with it. Truly, I am. After Perfect, I was with Sunday Service for maybe another month, and then I moved on. I started working on Queens of Soul. And that was a show. So there are shows called pop shows, and they're in the symphony space. Symphonies are generally, that audience is normally older, and so a lot of symphonies reach out to production companies to create shows full of pop music to engage a younger or more diverse audience and bring them to the symphony. And so I was a part of a show called Queens of Soul. We sang Chaka Khan, Aretha Franklin, Gladys Knight, just a bunch of divas, child. And it was amazing. I got to sing with some incredible singers from all around the country. And we traveled all up and down the East Coast, Southwest, and had an amazing, amazing time. That was one of the first times I had been on stage by myself in years, and just to remind me what it felt like being on stage by myself was so important for my own self-confidence. So super grateful and excited about that. And I did that from the end of 21 until the top of last year, so 23. And also touring. I like touring. And we did a couple days. Went to a city, did the show, flew back out the next day. I like that a lot. Got to sightsee a little bit, eat some good food, and then come back, One experience that I missed, that I realized while I was talking, you probably saw me spaced out a bit. I had an opportunity to do a song called Finish Line on Elton John's album, his last album, and the Stevie Wonder as well. I'm going to tell the story about that session because it's crazy, but I just want to tell you where I've been. What an amazing opportunity. I did the session. Once again, you don't know if they're going to keep your vocals. I had an opportunity to do a solo at the end. Didn't know if they were going to keep it. We also didn't know when it was coming out. It came out in September of 2021, still during the thick of the pandemic, so not a lot of marketing around it, but man, what a career achievement. At the end, it's almost kind of like me and Stevie are kind of like ad-libbing together, even though we weren't in the studio together at all. And when I recorded this song, Stevie wasn't even singing on it. He was just playing harmonica. So when I heard the whole record, it just brought tears to my eyes, and I still pinch myself. One of my uncles was telling me a couple months ago that he goes to Starbucks in New York, and sometimes when he's in there, the song comes on and he tells the people, "That's my niece." It's just like, when I started singing, I never would have thought I would have had these experiences. So as I'm reading these, I try not to sound jaded or like I don't care. I'm shocked that that dream of that little girl in Sarasota, Florida has become what it's become. I'm on songs with legends. Like, that's by far one of the greatest things I've ever done. And in spite of everything I know I have planned for myself, it's probably one of the most important things I'll ever do. Doing a song with two of my heroes, two of my songwriting heroes. And I'm so grateful to Sir Elton John for keeping my vocals, for keeping us on the song, but for keeping my solo at the end and allowing me to shine on his record. Man, amazing. So I just had to put that in there. But fast forward to where we are in 2023. I went home and performed in the largest venue in my hometown. I just said I'm from Sarasota, Florida. It's a small weird, quirky little town. This combination of cultures and Southern culture and artsy culture and Latin culture and all of the things. Theater culture. I was raised in Sarasota. My dad was building his career as an actor. He then founded a theater company called West Coast Black Theater Troupe. And because I wasn't on the road consistently with Sunday service anymore, like I said, I left Sunday service around May of 22, I think. I was able to go home and do some stuff. And we had that concert in the works for a while. And I got to sing the show with a wonderful woman named Madeline, whom I love, one of the greatest singers I've ever heard. And a nonprofit group back home. Oh, this is so terrible. It was really their concert. It was a combination with West Coast Black Theater Troupe. Please forgive me. But I would go to concerts at the Van Wezel. I saw Diana Ross at the Van Wezel. I saw Gladys Knight at the Van Wezel. I saw Peabo Bryson and Oleta, no, not Oleta Adams, Peabo Bryson and Regina Bell at the Van Wezel. I saw Gullah Gullah Island at the Van Wezel. So as a grown woman to play the Van Wezel was so amazing. And I said this during the show, but right before I moved to LA, I knew God was telling me to move. I would park my car by the Van Wezel. And if you've ever been there, you know it's right off of the Gulf. So there's this beautiful bridge and you can see the water. And I would go there and I would pray and I would just be like, God, what are you doing with my life? I'm scared. I don't want to, I know I need to leave, but I don't want to. I'm leaving everything I've ever known. And I just said, what a full circle moment to come back and perform inside of the venue. Now sitting in the fullness of everything that my life has become. We packed out the Van Wezel. I sang some of the greatest songs from my favorite singer in the world. Well, Whitney's my favorite, but Aretha to me is the greatest. From Aretha Franklin, got to sing up and down her catalog and got a standing ovation. I still have to post footage from that because I haven't posted it yet. I've been dragging my feet, that's on me. So be on the lookout for that footage, probably on Instagram and YouTube, but so amazing. Such an amazing night, such an amazing moment in my life where I just got to sit in it and be present and thank God and be grateful for the journey and grateful to myself for not giving up. Truly, we need those moments. Then I started working at my church. I've been working with my church from the pandemic. I would lead worship before my schedule got crazy. And then during the pandemic, when nothing was happening in the industry, I went and I helped out, helped produce services. Churches really had to go completely virtually, and I was a part of that. But last year I went back to help the worship team, and that was really quite an experience. But I had an opportunity to grow in my leadership skills, my interpersonal skills, and I know without a shadow of a doubt, I was able to make an impact. My contract ended this year, and I decided when I saw it was coming to an end that it was time to put all of the time and all of the energy that I've been putting in everyone else's music and everyone else's ministry, album, performance, into myself. And if I can be honest with you, it makes me really nervous to put myself out like that. It's funny because I came here to do just this, and yet I became so comfortable in a season of my life. A season that I was merely supposed to pass through. I have recently been seeing my Facebook memories, and so much has been coming up from the time that I moved here to LA, and I feel myself getting emotional, and I don't know why. And I found myself asking myself, where did that girl go who is so full of hope and so full of excitement and who celebrated every single thing? And I felt so deeply in my heart that God was telling me that I lost my gratitude. When you're in survival mode, which so many of us have been in these last few years, it's really hard to be grateful for the journey and to see the blessing that it is. And even with me, I'm getting emotional. I don't know what's going on with me. Even me being able to go through and just list the things that have happened in the last 5 years, I have never done this. I've been looking at the last 5 years going, man, they haven't been what I thought they would be. And looking at this, I would have to correct myself and say, they were more than I thought they would be. And the biggest blessing is, I'm still here in spite of all of my struggles to say thank you to God and thank you to you all who support me and myself for not giving up. I did this to communicate with you, but clearly I needed to do this for myself, and I'm trying so hard not to lose it on here. But maybe that's a message for someone. You may have your perspective of how your life has gone, how these past few years have gone, how the last decade has gone. But if you just sit and think about what really matters, there's so much to be grateful for. Even if all you can be grateful for is the fact that you survived it. There's so much to be grateful for. So, I was not planning on crying. What the heck? I want to share more about myself and about my journey, about the things that I've learned. I've been incredibly reflective moving forward to this next chapter of my life. And I want to share what I've learned with you, in hopes that you can learn from what I've been through, maybe so we can laugh together. And just being, like I said, reflective and grateful for where I've been and incredibly excited for where I'm going. I want you to come along for the journey. I thank you for being here. And I'm excited to see what we do next. I think my next video is going to be my journey, what it was like moving cross country in 2015. Crazy. Thank you guys so much for being here. I love you more than you know. Please like and comment, subscribe if you haven't already. I'm so grateful for you. And I want you to take an opportunity today to be kinder to yourself.